All right, Mr. Eric, whenever you're ready.
All right, call the billing board meeting to order at 5:30.
Would you like me to call the roll?
You want to do that? I do that first?
Sure.
All right, let's have the roll call, sir.
Baylor?
Here.
Mr. Holdman is excused. Mr. Klibowitz?
Here.
Sardina? Here. At this point, I would ask for a motion to nominate a temporary chairperson as Mr. Holdman is not here.
I make a motion to nominate Eric as the chairperson for the building board.
Second. You need it?
Well, with that, I guess we'll put it to vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. We'll move right along here. We'll do persons desiring to be heard. Do we have anybody here tonight that would like to be heard? All right, if not, we'll close that right out at 5:30. We'll do consideration of minutes. If we get a motion for that for May 6th, 2025.
Make a motion to accept the consideration of minutes from May 6th.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All that don't? Guess the ayes have it again. We'll do unfinished business. That'll be an occupancy permit for 414 Auto Sports located at 5073 North 125th Street.
Yes, so this was adjourned to this date from a previous adjournment in May to give the owner, Mr. Nicholas James, who is present here today, a chance to address the concerns that the building board had and to go to the municipal court regarding the citation that was received by him for the junked vehicles that was given out by the police department. We have had issues in the board in the past with the occupancy permit just because of those junked vehicles as defined by our village code. And we now have Mr. James here if you would like to have him speak on his business and kind of how he's working on addressing that. We do have on here that during our conversation that we had in February or March with Mr. James over the phone, that he was going to have a maximum of 5 cars at any one time and they were going to all be inside. That has not occurred. And we also, like I said, the vehicles are deemed junk under the ordinance because they have either they're not registered, they have flat tires. They at one point there was several that were inoperable due to the extreme damage that was done. The code gives them 15 days to be turned around or removed from the village, which many of those vehicles are currently in violation of. So with that, I will yield back to the board for any type of discussion that you would like to have on that.
Are all those cars in front of that building belong to 414?
Not all of them. He's occupying the unit that 5073. I believe it's towards the south end of the building. So the vehicles, to my knowledge, that are parked there are his because the unit to his left is not occupied at the time.
I mean, that whole corner looks like a junkyard.
So then on the north end, that's owned by a different business, and those vehicles they were at one point subject to compliance violations. They have now all been registered, and to my knowledge, are adhering to the code after my discussions with them.
So I don't know if I missed it, but has he had day in court?
He had court in the beginning of June on this. I believe that he did not appear, from what I understand, since I was there during the court to take payments. I do not recall seeing him appear at that point.
Okay, and then you also have in our packet several emails.
Correct. I did send several emails after the board meetings and prior to this, advising that to remind him that he does have a court date and that he does have the hearing today. I did advise in those emails what would need to be done to fall in line with the ordinance and to no longer be in violation of it. To my knowledge, none of those actions have been taken as the vehicles are still outside and are not registered and have flat tires.
So basically, nothing's changed from our last tabling of this issue.
It is my belief that you are correct.
Okay. Does anybody on the board have any questions for the owner of 414 Auto Sports? Since he is here with us today, or does he have anything he'd like to say to the board? Please come up. Is that mic on?
Aaron, turn it on.
Testing.
Yep.
Okay. Firstly, 414 Auto Sports, it's a repair facility. I primarily work on classic cars. So probably the newest cars are in my shop are the 70s, 50, 60, 70s cars. When I spoke to Mr. Hubrick upon applying for an occupancy permit, I told him I was unclear. I told him 5 cars can fit in there at one time. I didn't specify that only 5 cars would be there, during business. That was just how many cars were there at the time. Maybe I was confused about, what I need to tell him. There's no cars inside or outside that are junk vehicles. So I have the printout from Mr. Hubrick that they're disassembled or inoperable or unregistered, none of which are true, even from day one. They're all my customers' cars. They either minimum have titles and minimum are registered current. Maybe 1 or 2 of them have flat tires, but none of them are inoperable. I can start them up and drive them whenever. Again, I'm a classic car repair facility, so cars come to me for various reasons. Sometimes I might get a car in and it needs this and that, and being that they are classic, they're not on the road anymore. It's hard to get parts immediately. So sometimes I'll have to push it out or drive it outside the shop and sit it outside my shop on private property, never on the street. I've never done that. I've never left a car on the street without calling it in, because you only get 1 or 2 days per month. Sorry. Anything else? Again, I'm honestly confused why the vehicles are being classified as junk vehicles when I'm not a junk or a salvage repair facility, and I let Mr. Hubrick know that. So I don't understand why the cars are being considered or classified as junk. Additionally, according to this is section 30, this was given to you by Mr. Hubrick. It says any business engaged in sales or repair on the private property may not exceed 15 days. All right, which all the other repair facilities in Butler aren't adhering to those rules. So I don't understand why I'm the only one that has to, when I'm not doing anything wrong.
I can speak to that.
I'm not violating any rules. The cars are registered. There's a lot. Again, I have pictures of vehicles with the tire missing and no plates on them. Not once has Mr. Benjamin came by and seen what has gone on. As a matter of fact, the last time I came here, he pulled up a Google Maps of the facility, and none of the cars that were in the Google Maps were at my facility, which were none of my cars that I was working on. So again, I'm confused on where this is even coming from.
Great. So that's what we're here tonight to get through. You're confused, and so is the board, right? Ben, you wanted to answer his question?
The disassembled, inoperable, junked, or wrecked motor vehicles section of the code, it defines that a junked vehicle as one that, again, it is in a state of physical or mechanical ruin, as to be incapable of propulsion, being operated upon the public streets or highways, or which is otherwise not safe or legal condition for operation on public streets or highways due to missing or inoperative parts, flat or removed tires, expired or missing license plates, or other defects. There's at least one vehicle that is missing a license plate. It might be registered, but it does not have a license plate. And there's the other vehicle that does have flat tires. So that's 2 of the vehicles at least that I can recall off the top of my head that meet the definition in the zoning code as being a junked vehicle. And where he is talking about the 15 days, it is if they are in violation of the code, they have 15 days to repair them or get them off the property.
That's not what it says here. And you highlight.
Can you just let Ben finish, please? We gave you that respect.
It states that any business here's sub D exception. Any business engaged in automotive sales or repair may retain the vehicles on private property for a period of not to exceed 15 days, after which the vehicles must be removed. Any such business must also be in compliance with all other provisions of the code, including but not limited to zoning ordinances. So there's an exception for junked vehicles. So again, this is under the junked vehicle section 32-204, sub D. The exception to that section is if you are in the business of automotive sales or repair, you can retain the junked vehicles on the property for a period of not to exceed 15 days. So if you have a car that is considered to be junked, flat tires, inoperable, missing license plates, you can have them on there for 15 days before they either have to fall into compliance or be removed from the property. That's at least my interpretation of what the village code is stating. I am not aware, I have not been presented with the cars that Mr. James is saying that they're missing the tires and have no license plates at all. I know that there was vehicles at the northern business that did have issues. And again, to my knowledge, I have not gone and looked at every single vehicle there, but it is my a belief that they have complied with the village ordinances. And if they have not, if they're still in violation, I would like to know which vehicles and where they're located so that I can properly prosecute them. I will say that he is not the only one that's getting called out because the business just moved in south of this building on 127th and Arden. We had a conversation with them. They are going to be in compliance with the village code by July 2nd. So he's not the only one that's dealt with it. I have many vehicles that I have dealt with over the past couple months that I've sent letters to. All these letters are open record. You can request them. I have sent out many letters about junk vehicles that have then subsequently been removed from the village by the property owner or repaired. So he is not the only one that's getting prosecuted by this.
Sure. You did receive the emails from Ben,
Regarding,
the violations?
I got the ticket when, I got
You have received no emails that he sent out?
not regarding a violation. The landlord or the owner of the building, months ago, I got a text saying that this vehicle again, there's nothing on any of the vehicles missing or inoperable. I don't
I
understand.
can't see his email because it's redacted, but he's saying he's not seeing it.
So what I think what you're trying to reference, Mr. Baylor, is it's not necessarily on the violation. It's a follow-up from the previous building boards that dealt with the concerns that we had.
Any email? Have you received any email from Ben
Yes.
regarding asking you to comply or asking you to, come in and talk, or, that you did have a court date and you missed your court date?
Only because I had the ticket. So I assumed that, getting the ticket, I needed to speak to you all regarding the ticket on how I shouldn't be charged a ticket when I don't have any junk.
Yeah, but a ticket,
Because
we're
that
not judges
prohibited me from getting my
from that
occupancy.
ticket.
And I think that we're getting caught up on the part of the code that is stating that it's missing parts. That's one part of the code that would deem a car to be junked. As I read off, a missing license plate, flat tires, that those all individually can deem a car to be a junked vehicle. It doesn't have, it can have all of its parts. You can drive, but if it's not legally operable on the streets because it does not have a license plate, which makes it illegal to operate on a public street, it is a junk vehicle. If it has if it has complete flat tires, it is inoperable because the tires basically just get shredded, because there's nothing inflating the tires, so it is a junk vehicle. That it doesn't have to meet every single one of those codes. If my vehicle is perfectly drivable, but I don't have a license plate on it and it's sitting out there, technically by the code written and passed by the Village of Butler Village Board, that is a junk vehicle. Dead stop. And again, you are not a judge. On the ticket, it said, here's your court date, here's the date, here's where you need to go. You need to appear in front of the judge. He did not. So, he could have discussed with the attorney and had a discussion on that, on the legalities of that. But again, you are not judges.
We're just upholding the rules and laws of the Village of Butler.
Can I speak for a second?
Sure.
If a car, we have titles. It's you title your, regardless of the codes of Butler, the titles are in Wisconsin. So
Yes.
if you have a clean title and you have a flat tire, that doesn't make the vehicle junk. That's
And I think, Ray, you're really with the junk part. So we can just go with non-registered. That would then fall,
they're
just
all-
because it has a title does not mean it's registered to drive on the street, correct?
they're all private. They're on private property off the street. I don't understand why is this.
The state of Wisconsin, under home rule authority, allows the village of Butler to institute a zoning code. That zoning code has been upheld by the state Supreme Court, by the U.S. Supreme Court, and many other courts, saying that we have the ability to zone and regulate private property when it affects the general health, safety, and welfare of the village. It does not matter if it's on private property. It does not matter if it's on public property. If it is in detriment to the public health, safety, and general welfare, which the village of Butler's codes clearly dictate and spell out in it, it is able to be regulated because this is in the zoning code under section, it's part of the zoning code, I believe, and it's also part of the traffic and vehicle chapter. So we have the ability to regulate that per Wisconsin statutes.
Anybody else from the board have any questions on where we're headed with this?
I mean, I get you don't feel that they're junk vehicles, but by our village is saying if it's got a flat tire, you got 15 days to get it
Aired up.
or get
Yeah,
it.
and
out
I've
of
told
sight.
Mr. James, you guys have to inflate the tires. You have to get the vehicle registered, or at least if it's registered, you need to get a license plate on it. If you can't do it, bring it into the building.
Right,
I
get
sent
it out
him
of sight.
3 emails
They
stating
are.
that.
That's what I keep trying to say. They
But you
all
don't have a license plate, sir.
They are. You haven't been there. When I
I
was
went
here,
past it
All right,
last week.
we're not gonna bicker because we don't get anywhere with that.
So it would be as simple as moving that from outside
To inside.
and we
The-
wouldn't
the
be
code-
having this
The
conversation.
code is.
I don't have the room. I'm a classic car facility. They have to wait. I have customers. I can't. I'd move from a
They
building.
either put a plate on it, fix the tire.
They have plates.
They
I
don't.
keep telling him that.
I went back there last week with at least one of those vehicles does not have a plate.
Okay, I'll make sure it probably is in the window. I'll make sure it's on the back of the vehicle that's off private property, and I'll make sure they all have air. And one of the, because you sent me an email or a text message rather, the landlord said one of the tires was flat.
There's
So I got
more
a
than one
ticket
tire
for
that's flat on
$500
it.
for one flat tire and one license plate that wasn't visible on a vehicle that's not on private property or on public roads.
That's where you go to court and you dispute that there.
But I can't get my occupancy because of it, because of you saying of a flat tire. And
Because you're in violation of the village code.
Okay, so if I have my flat tire filled up and I remove the license plate from the window to the back and you can see it, am I still in violation?
Then you would not be in violation.
Okay. I think we got somewhere.
Seems fairly simple.
That's what.
I mean, I don't
Again, I sent
I
3
wasn't
emails.
in all your conversations, but you've gotten emails. And Ben doesn't just write tickets. We really are on this board is compliance is what we try to achieve. Writing a ticket is one of the last things that gets done here. So I think right. I mean, it's as simple as fixing those, right?
Sir, you want me to be honest? This didn't happen until my neighbors were actually the ones that are running an illegal business next to me. Because it's been the same thing. I've been here since November. He's never said any of this. He's never said, hey, these are untitled and this is a flat tire. It wasn't until the DOT came and shut down my neighbors for running an illegal business is when I did this. The same cars have been there since I moved. The same exact ones. They run and drive.
Right. So you were in violation when someone saw it, right? So
The tires were in.
I'm not going to argue
Yeah, I'm gonna go
about
back
the
on that.
tires. The tires we've now established a flat tire puts you in violation.
Okay.
that-
Why is it that no other businesses have this? Because I have pictures.
we're not here tonight to talk about other businesses. We're here
If
to
you would like
discuss
to provide me
you.
with those pictures and tell
and-
me where those are, I
and-
will be more than happy to talk to those.
I'd like to
property owners.
just,
Nah, I just want. Okay.
I would like to know of a violation so I can get those fixed. I'm all about equal application of the law because again, you can open records request all the emails all the letters that I've sent out about junked vehicles on private property in the residential and commercial districts. I don't just go after one person. I go after everybody the same. And if there's a violation, I would like to know about it so then I can address it.
Right. And so that's,
And this has been before us for what, the last 3 meetings?
3 meetings.
and it's as simple as just doing what we kind of just talked about, right? Airing it up and right. So, I think a lot of it is no communications. We communicate like we're doing now, right?
Yes, sir.
I think we could have been done 2 months ago,
I think so.
right? But obviously there's miscommunication or whatever, but per our codes, you're in violation, unfortunately, right? And that's why we tabled it to give you the time to either just quick correct it and go to court because you weren't happy with that. So that's what we were kind of expecting to have done. So now here we are. So
Right, we were kind of waiting to see what happened in court, but you
Yep.
didn't appear.
we wanted it to just get fixed because it was fairly simple to do. So
At this time, I would like to table this one more time to get your Ts crossed, your Is dotted, and give you the benefit of the doubt and bring it up to the board next month.
That'd be July 15th.
all right, we have a motion.
What is it that I'm bringing up to the board next meeting? Pictures of the tires not flat?
Just that, the violations are corrected. That's what we're gonna come back and everything's gonna be repaired, then
Sir, what if one day, it's summer now, what if one day it gets 30 degrees and that'll cause a steel rim to lose its air and he happens to come by and says that's a violation? Because that's probably what happened. They're cars.
They're still flat and it's 80 degrees out.
I'm just asking hypothetically. If you came by and it was a cold day and it lost air, I'm still in violation. I can't get my occupancy.
But
Just
that
asking
point,
hypothetically.
you would have 15 days to correct it. At
Cor-
that point.
Yeah, correct. If there was to be some sort of like with that understanding, again, I would communicate through a letter or an email. You'd say, oh, okay, great. Thanks for letting me know. I pumped up the tires. We're good to go.
Pretty simple.
yep. Does that make sense?
So the day of the board meeting, send you an email saying that the tires are pumped up?
Yeah, if you wanted to say, hey, I'm all in compliance. You want to swing by? I will be more than happy to swing by. I can check it out.
And do you have another court appearance coming up?
No, not that I know of.
So if he can apply for he can, again, I don't want to get into municipal court, but he can contact the municipal court and see what he can do about reopening the case for July's court date.
So it's just a matter of making sure you got plates on the cars, current year stickers, I assume.
Yeah, it can't be
Tires
expired.
got to be inflated at all the times.
It's really just tires, correct? 'Cause
It's the tires and then getting that license plate put on the
You can't
vehicle.
be sitting
With
outside
with
the
current
windshield missing
stickers
and-
on the tags
Yeah, it
of
can't be like
what,
from
the
2013.
year that's current.
Yeah, it can't be like 2013
Otherwise-
or whatever, yeah.
If you can switch one inside or outside, it's really is, I mean,
Tires and proper tags.
If I sell cars like some of the dealerships here that have no tags on them, then what happens? And they don't sell in 15 days. I'm in violation because then I can't run my business.
So
so now you're saying you sell cars?
That's part of repair and sales.
that's not what this occupancy is
Yeah, I don't have anything on here about
It's required
sales.
in a Repair shop.
But
Yeah.
it says here on the compliance if you're a repair or sales and the same thing.
So if you're talking, that's
I just want
So
to
if
make
you-
sure
if
that
you-
anything I do moving forward is in compliance because I don't want to come back here every.
correct. If you were to do any type of car sales, that would be a completely different story. For
Gotcha.
that would require a conditional use permit.
Okay.
There's certain laws that, again, I'm not getting into the whole car sales thing, 'cause I don't know how the state dictates all
Yeah,
of that, and
it's,
if they,
the sales of cars is, you understand that you don't have an occupancy or have applied for one to sell cars, correct? Do you understand that? Okay. So we're talking about your repair business, no one else is next door around you, just you. And what you need to do, you understand, to come in compliance.
Yes.
And I would, so it would be probably a good idea to try to fix that court stuff too and work that out. Because you don't want that hanging around either. So we have a motion from Tom to table this till July 15th meeting, to give you the time again to come in compliance and work with Ben. If you talk with Ben, he's more than willing to help you out. If any questions you have, I think if you guys have the communication open, I think we can resolve this.
I'll second that motion to table till July 15th.
Any other discussion on that motion? All right, let's, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. Thank you, Mr. James, for coming here tonight to talk with us. All right, we're gonna move to new business. We'll start off with an occupancy permit for Productive Builders, Inc., located at 4551 North 125th Street.
yes, so they are looking to move into a two-tenant building. They're going to be, I believe, on the left-hand side of the building. They're looking to get occupancy for a general contracting business for residential and commercial remodeling. They're going to be focusing on kitchens, baths. They needed a bigger space. They've been around for about 40 years. And I also included with the packet the plans that they are looking to put forward to the building inspector to remodel the current place. They've been very, very communicative. They have filled out the occupancy and permit in full, along with the police department contact sheet. So I believe that the owner of the business is here if you have any questions, but he's been nothing but pleasant to deal with and very, very informative on what they plan to do with the space.
Great to hear. I really don't have any real important questions. I guess the only thing I would ask, Ben, is there's quite a bit of traffic. Are there any issues that you think might be happening over there with, because they're stating 40 trips possibly a day with cars in and out? Is that?
I'm guessing that's probably just their employees going back and forth. And I don't anticipate it because that's right on Arden,
Right.
with
Yep, I
easy access to
went by it.
124. I believe that the previous business, Swift Roofing, also had a decent amount of truck
Correct.
traffic. I don't know because their occupancy permit was given out before the new form, but my guess is they would probably have similar trips.
Great. No, it's.
Yes. Yeah. So if you do have questions, like I said, he is here.
As far as the business goes, I don't. I was just purely an aspect of, traffic. We always like to consider everybody around us, and we appreciate you putting exactly what's going on. We really do appreciate that. So anybody else on the board have any questions at all?
No, none. I'll make a motion to approve the occupancy permit for Productive Builders Incorporated, located at 4551 North 125th.
I'll second the motion.
Any other discussion on that motion? Not, all in favor?
Aye.
All that oppose? The ayes have it. Welcome to Butler. All right, we'll move on to the next occupancy permit for In-House Machining Company LLC, located at 4676 North 125th Street.
Yes, so this, the property owner, the business owner is also here. If you have questions for him, as stated on their occupancy permit, they're going to be doing occasional repair of equipment requiring mobile type machinery, machining and snow plowing. They currently do occupy a space in the village. This was kind of caught by chance that they did not have their occupancy. And when I sent out a letter asking them to apply for it, they did apply right away. They were very forthcoming. They did ask some good questions. So I really do appreciate the fast response time to that. It seems like minimal traffic, minimal staff there. So it seems to be just a pretty small business that's going to be operating in that space.
Another good to hear. Does anybody on the board have any questions or concerns?
No, no questions.
All right. Well, with that, do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve occupancy permit for in-house machining LLC located at 4676 North 125th.
I'll second that.
Any other discussion on that motion? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And the ayes have that. Welcome to Butler. Thank you for keeping communication open with Ben. All right, and then we're going to finish up with a sign permit for WK Cabinetry located at 12855 West Silver Spring Drive, Suite B.
Yes, so they received their occupancy permit a couple months ago. They're a relatively recent company to Butler. This was caught just on a drive-by on Silver Spring Road that I discovered that the sign was put up. We didn't have a permit application, so I did send a letter to the owner, and he responded again very quickly to the request. Actually, I greatly appreciated he calculated the fees for me, so I didn't have to do that. That's my least favorite thing. But yes, he responded right away and was very open and communicative again with village staff on this permit.
That's good to hear. We had talked as well before. Did we ever get a picture of the sign that's up? So that the board is
I
able
did
to
not
look
get
at?
around to doing that. I apologize. But I did not.
Have you seen the sign?
I have seen the sign.
And
It matches the exact size as the previous sign that was allowed there. It's a white sign, I believe, with WK cabinetry on it. It looks very nice. So I have no complaints with regards to the sign itself.
and then I guess the only thing, if we could just have a picture of that sign put
Yep.
into the file so that
Yep.
we do have it, and if there's any changes, we can see what the original was.
Yes, sir. Aaron's writing it down.
Yeah. So other than that, I don't have anybody else have any questions?
No questions.
All right.
With that said and done, I would approve the sign permit for WK Cabinetry at 12855 West Silver Spring, Suite B.
I'll second that.
Any other discussions on that? If not, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
I don't think we need to discuss that. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? The ayes have it. We're adjourned at 6:03.